And in the studio with me now live is Bradley Ward, age 22 and come all the way from America. Good afternoon, Bradley.
I met the guy from Manchester flying over, sat at the front of the flight, just started talking to him, common interest obviously with the racing and what have you, and just clicked. Obviously knew the family history of the racing and said that, you know, Joe would be ideal to speak to, so that's where we are.
Oh dear, no pressure then. Bradley, your family has got a huge history of racing, which we'll come on to a second. You're originally from Selby in Yorkshire, which is why you haven't got that American accent. And you're living at the moment and racing in the USA, and you started riding bikes, let's just go back a bit, at the age of 18 months. Just talk me through that.
Yeah, I obviously with my granddad's history of the racing and stuff, he built a little mini moto that I was riding with obviously the training wheels and the dog lead on the back of it, so I couldn't, you know, whiz off out of the way. But yeah, all the way through, being from 18 months old to 6, you know, we were riding bikes and just having fun, you know, learning technique and stuff, and went from there really. Did my first race on a motocross bike when I was 6, and never looked back since. You know, I've been riding bikes every day since I was 18 months old really. It's all we do.
Now, we just mentioned your family, and your family did own a motorcycle shop in Leeds, which opened in the 60s, I believe,
yeah.
And you all then moved to the States in 2016. But let's talk about your family's background and history within road racing.
Yeah, so it all started with my granddad really. He worked in a motorcycle shop in Leeds and, you know, just wrenching on the bikes, working on the bikes, and thought he'd have a go himself, so he obviously got a toolkit organised and bought a bike and were riding, you know, all the time, look after his own machine and stuff, and ended up coming over to the TT, I think, either right at the end of the 50s or the beginning of the 60s. Did many years over here on the roads. You know, totally different back then to what it is now, I guess.
And does he talk about that to you?
He's in a little bit of bad health now. He's got Alzheimer's and dementia. But he can remember some key points of racing, and a few, you know, you mention a few names and it pops back up to him a little bit, but he's yeah, we've got a lot of memorabilia still. Obviously, he's all riding gear and a lot of pictures and stuff. And then my granddad's brother, Steve Ward, he a lot younger than my granddad. Also, well, obviously over here, big road racer, and had a lot of good results. And yeah, it's a good family history.
And your dad as well?
Dad sort of followed so, you know, I'm sort of following the same footsteps. He sort of raced motocross up until being 19 or 20. Had a boatload of injuries, ended up, you know, getting a road racing bike, and it all started from there really. You know, it's pretty much identical to what's happened to me, is what, you know, what my dad did. Did British Superbike. I don't think it was called BSB back then, it was I can't remember the name of it, but he, you know, he raced with all the top guys, obviously on a privateer budget. But yeah. And
you had a big motocross background as well, but then you had an injury, didn't you?
Yeah, I grew up, you know, racing British Championships from being sort of 9-10 years old, then went on to European Championships. Brilliant breeding ground, I think, for short circuit and more so the roads, I think. Very excited to hopefully have a go at it.
All the road races, well, most of the road races seem to use motocross as a fitness thing as well, rather than just going to the gym. They go out on the bike. Just describe that to me, and you know how you keep up on your fitness with the motocross.
Yeah, the motocross side of things, you know, the physical fitness, you have to be you know, a prime athlete. Even at, you know, British Championship level, it's insane the amount of hours in the gym. You know, the bike time, it's a totally different ball game. You know, it's and unfortunately, you know, there's risks of getting injured there, and, you know, any little injury ends up turning into a big injury just because you're grinding yourself to pieces, you know, week in, week out, and it grinds you down. So
you went to short circuit racing, and you'd love to compete in British Superbike.
Make a career out of, whether it be motocross, you know, speedway, whatever. I just love riding bikes, and this seemed like the, you know, the best option to, you know, where the injuries wouldn't hold me back, you know, down to talent and riding ability. Motocross, you know, if you're injured, you can't be competitive. And
how's your dad feel about all this?
Short circuit, he's keen for it. He loves it. Obviously, when I come over for the TT, and I'd never been over, you know, to watch any of the road stuff, and I could just see the look on his face. You know, when I got back, he could see how eager I was to, you know, come and try and make something work, and he's still not sort of agreeing to it, but.
Why is that?
I think because Stephen had a bad incident. You know, he had a big career on the roads, and he ended up passing away in.
And excuse me, that's your uncle Steve?
Yeah, Uncle Steve. Yeah. Just before I was born in '96, he had an accident in Sweden, and unfortunately we lost him. you know, it wasn't a road race, it was a short circuit, getting ready for the TT. I want to come and do it, you know, to fulfill what I want to do, but also, you know, there's so much history back in the family. I feel that I just, you know, I need to come and do it.
It's definitely in the blood, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you were here for the Isle of Man TT this year, then just talk me through what you feel, how it was, and as obviously as sitting on the outside looking in, what was that experience like?
My dad said, you know, if you're going to watch, he said, I want you to go straight to the bottom of Bray Hill, watch there for the first lap, and he said, you'll be put off for life. I walked down the bottom there, saw the first bike come past, and the hairs were stood up on the back of my neck. And I FaceTimed him. He was over in America. I FaceTimed and I said, I need to come and do it.
And he just had his hands in his head thinking that was the worst piece of advice I've probably ever given my son ever. Who are the riders that you have the utmost respect for? I mean, I guess everybody, of course, as we all do, but who would you say really stands out to you?
Seeing the kids come from the motocross background, you know, that haven't been brought up necessarily on the roads or on the short circuits, you know, coming from a totally different background and then instantly being, you know, relatively competitive, like Davey Todd, you know, he's very similar background to me, you know, he's done a little bit of everything. But he, you know, speaking to him, he's put the effort in, and, you know, he's a sensible kid, and he's got the right mentality, I think, to have a good career on the roads.
Okay, so looking ahead then, talk to me through the future. Tell me what that's looking like, and I presume it's now the road to the Manx Grand Prix perhaps next year?
Yeah, we need to, I need to go back and, you know, sit down with my dad and, you know, sort of figure out what we're going to do. I've got plans to race in the Moto America, which is a US championship. Do that, but, you know, the US, as big as it is, and, you know, there's pretty good money in the racing over there, it's not, you know, it's not British Superbike. And I've just, you know, I want a lot of my support and fans and family and everything still, you know, in the UK and in Ireland and stuff. And you know, I just feel I've got something to fulfil. It's
very exciting then. I mean, do you feel like you're leaving the island with just this dream that could be coming true?
But yeah, very excited.
So we've had a couple of comments on Facebook. Donovan says, hello from South Africa. John Chapman says, best place in the world to witness speed. Roger Cockburn says, remember Carl from way back. Sad to hear he's unwell. Good luck from Leeds, Bradley, Hyde Park Motorcycles. That's Roger.
Yep, yeah. My granddad were good friends with him, yeah.
Sponsors, let's just have a quick chat about sponsors. All riders need sponsors. You know, it's difficult out there. How are you going to go ahead and how are you going to go about getting sponsors to be able to help your journey now through to the Manx Grand Prix? Yeah,
I mean, things have changed a lot over the past, you know, since I started when I was a kid. I've always sort of done the background of the racing myself, you know, from a young age. My dad was, you know, if you want to go racing, we need to pay for it. So I've always been, you know, seeking sponsorship and help from people, and, you know, I'm pretty personable, you know, I've talked to everybody. And
talking to support, if people want to reach out to you and just follow your journey, you're on social media, aren't you?
Yeah, my Instagram account's probably Instagram or Facebook. My Instagram's Bradley Ward 757.
All this social media stuff, isn't it? Is it difficult for you to manage?
It's a full-time job, you know. I've only sort of over the past 18 months I've really been trying to put some effort in with it, but it's a full-time job nearly, you know. Social media, you know, trying to get a bit of support, looking after the bikes, going racing, you know, it takes up a lot of time. And obviously I still work at the motorcycle shop that we've got in the US, help my dad out, you know, during the week, and then go away racing on the weekend. But if you have a look on my Instagram, I post, you know, racing and like the background stuff, messing around on the mini bikes, and, you know, I don't just keep it, you know, just to the racing. There's all sorts of stuff on there. It's good crack to have a look through.
Bradley, thank you so much for joining us here on Manx Radio TT. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. All the very best of luck, and we really hope to see you here as a newcomer at the Manx Grand Prix.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope to see you next year.
Pretty sad that I'm not going to be over at the Isle of Man this year, but we've got other things going on with Moto America and the Stock 1000. So fingers crossed we'll be over there next year, and hope to at some point get around the island. Good luck to all my friends that are out there. I hope you guys have a safe and successful week ride. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you do, make sure you like it, subscribe, and leave some comments. Thanks a lot, guys.